Hi folks, welcome back to the Horde. So, let's see, it is, about 3:15, I don't know, could you guys see this? About 3:15, 38.1 degrees, 11:16, today is Sunday. So, for my friends overseas, 3.0. Celsius, still somewhere around 3 o'clock. That one says 40. I don't know. You know the sun's not out, the sun must be warming it. As you guys could see, this thing made it back to the garage. What was wrong with it? Sometimes you got to go back to basics. Right? There's the spark plug wire. Notice my meter's attached to it. Notice my meter is on the 2 mega ohm scale, and notice that it's an open circuit. So, what was wrong with it? I think the bad gas obviously did not help the situation. I did rebuild the carburetor, and I dumped the gas out of the tank, and as a matter of fact, it's down below here. It didn't look that bad. Didn't seem to have a layer or anything. I did have some gas dryer. The stuff comes in a yellow bottle. Heat, I guess it's called. So I put heat into it. Maybe it dispersed most of the water. Anyway, you can see I'm not seeing anything on the bottom. Normally you see like drops or something, right? Gas floats on water. So I'm not seeing anything down there. So I rebuilt the carb. It is running. It's running, but it's not running great. It's got a Cushman carb on it. I've been fighting with that carb since I got the unit, and the guy before me fought with it, and from the markings on it and the way it was clean, I think it was rebuilt before he got it. There's kind of this ball thing, this check ball thing, that when you, with an accelerator pump, when I cleaned it out and made the most progress with it, I managed to get that check ball moving again. It's kind of behind this little phenolic block on the bowl. So I did break it loose and I got it moving again, which obviously makes us all happy. But that was a while ago. When I rebuilt it this time, there didn't appear to be anything wrong with the phenolic block. So I don't know what the heck to think of it, other than it's making me cranky. My solution to everything is to bolt a Honda clone carb to it, and that's where that's going. And as a matter of fact, that I traced, there was a gasket between the carburetor and the manifold, and I traced the gasket, and that's the size of the hole that I have to mount a clone carb up to. Now here's my theory, and you guys could tell me if I'm right or wrong on this theory. A 200cc bike is approximately 9 horsepower. My Cushman is about 16 horsepower. But it divides that 16 horsepower across 2 cylinders. They're both 4-strokes, obviously. So basically, for the carburetor, like on a 200S, it only pulls on one of the 4 strokes, right? On a 2-cylinder, on the 2-cylinder, it would be pulling twice as much, right? Each one is doing its 4 strokes, but they're kind of opposite of each other. So right? One fires, then the other one fires, then back and forth and back and forth. So I'm thinking that a 200S carburetor, given that the 200S is only using its carburetor a quarter of the time, and that thing would basically, the Cushman with 2 cylinders would just use the carburetor half the time instead of a quarter of the time, that a 200S carburetor should be more than enough to make it go. That's my theory. I guess what I'm going to have to do is bolt it up and see what happens, and move on from there. In the back of the Cushman, I think I'm going to keep the Cub Cadet down here in the lower driveway. I'm not going to move it up, because as soon as I move it up, we'll get snow. I really want this year to be prepared for the snow, so I want this thing aimed out and ready to go. But I think the Jacobson might get in the bed of the Cushman. That way the bed of the Cushman is filled up, and it doesn't get a bunch of other crap back there. And meanwhile, I get some more space down here, because between down here and up above, I really do want to be able to work on things. So that's one thing that's going to happen. I was out this morning. I had a coupon to get the oil changed in my wife's car, in her Corolla, for $19.95. And to be honest with you, I can't buy Valvoline conventional oil, right, which is typically what I use. I like Valvoline oil. I also like Dyno oil. I'm not big on the synthetics. And I guess I could tell you why. Years ago, the synthetics, particularly the Mobil one, your engine would last forever, but the particularly Mobil one would, years ago when I was a kid, would dry out your seals, where the conventional stuff never did that. So your engine will last forever with Mobil one, but it dries out your seals, you blow all your oil out of there, and you're dead anyway. So I don't know. Maybe I'm a traditionalist. I'm a dyno oil type of person. I'm sure I'm going to get comments with that I'm a dinosaur, and maybe I should move up to more of the synthetics, but I stick with the conventional. Anyway, I can't get a jug of conventional oil for much less than $14. And when you throw $6 worth of filter on it, you come up to about the 19 that my coupon made the oil change equal to. So took me 10 minutes. I was first online, drove right up, brought me right in, changed my oil, got out of there, and meanwhile I didn't have to crawl all over the ground. I'm trying to give up things that don't pay to do, and changing oil is one of those things that kind of doesn't pay to do. On my way home, I found this air conditioner. Is it good? I don't know. I could fire it up and try, but it's 40 degrees, so the compressor is not going to engage. What am I going to do with it? At the minimum, it's worth $12. It also has a GFI on it, like that kind. So maybe, as a matter of fact, GFI doesn't feel like it works. Maybe that's its problem. So I don't really need another air conditioner, and there isn't much. Used air conditioners really don't sell by me here, so I'm probably going to part it out. Air conditioner. Excuse me for a second here. Sorry about the darkness. An air conditioner has about $12 worth of scrap metal to it, compressor, and fins and so forth. So I guess in my mind, I picked up $12 by picking that up. So there we are. What else am I up to here? I unloaded the wood from the back of the Ranger. I had the wood that I needed to put the 8-foot wing on that shed, but it doesn't look like it will happen this year. So I made the wood as flat as I could, and I put that piece of plywood, which is kind of heavy, on top of it, so I'm hoping it doesn't torque and turn into propellers. This trailer I need to get emptied, and tomorrow I'll take care of that. I got to pull the wheels off of that. So what's going to happen is that guy is going to squeeze in here. Those tires are going to come off, and there's going to be one bike over here, and the others will be all squeezed in and interwoven. Hopefully the battery shows up for this tomorrow, and then I can finish putting that back together again, which will make me very happy. Then my son's coming home for Thanksgiving. We'll be able to take it out and ride it about, and we'll have some fun with it. I also got the Speed Defies Gravity bike. I got to rebuild the carburetor on that because it's got water in it, and because it's got water in it, it's not running right. So it makes you so happy, right? I don't know if you guys recall, in front of that shed I had all those long panels. I cut them into, they are 10 foot 2 inches, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right, there's 6 of them here. That one's slightly dented, and there's the trashed end. I would have liked to, kept them and had them 12.5 foot long, but you can see, particularly this guy is pretty crinkled. So I guess somebody drove over it with a car or whatever. So I couldn't do that, and I figured I just cut them to a reasonable length. For this side, I was going to go with an 8-foot wing, and this ditch is 8 foot out, so you guys can see I have enough space to do that. But unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to get this done before winter. Here's all the other panels. You can see I got the tongue of the trailer, kind of keeping them. They're pretty heavy. I don't know. I'm hoping the wind doesn't drop them on the ground. Probably I should just lay them out here behind the shed. That way they're safer. So some of these, I guess, construction problems are going to have to move toward next year. My plan for this thing was to try to take it apart. I think I'm going to take WTBM's advice. I'm going to probably reinforce it and get a tarp over it. That way these things are safe in here. Right, I'll just jack it up and get some 2x4s, along the center, so it doesn't look like this anymore. And that'll fix that up. I got one metal cattle panel left over, and I think I'm going to try to use it to help this thing out. You guys could see what happened is the way the weight was sitting on it. It kind of tormented and tortured the poor pipe. So I gotta get these things covered up again too. I also want to keep this dry. I don't want that getting trashy. So you guys could see I have a lot of work to do, and I'm not doing it fast enough. I think it was Musty One who made a comment that everybody up in Maine is running around like crazy trying to get their act together. I guess that's what I'm trying to do also, just not doing it quite quick enough. So anyway, advice: if you have one of these old Cushmans or any other old vehicle, I suspected the gas because I put the old gas in the two of these at the same time, and within a few minutes of each other. And what happened is the pit bike, I was out playing on the pit bike, and the pit bike kind of crapped out on me. So and then I suspected that same gas screwed this up. I did hit it with plenty of preservatives and everything else, and dry gas, in hopes of bringing it back, but it really didn't. So I'm thinking I had a combo problem there. I bought some of the this tarp is to go in front of the shed. Whenever I buy any, I happen to be out on the road, and I was passing Harbor Freight after the oil change and a couple of other things, so I always like to use my 20% coupons, and because of the magazines I subscribe to, and they put them in the newspapers here and everything else, I always have plenty of those 20% coupons. So I bought one tarp, and I really want to get this loaded and sealed, so to speak, right? So I got one tarp for here. Next time I'm out, maybe Wednesday, I'll buy the second tarp for here. And progress, right? Nice and slow. Animals are strange, She doesn't like me floating around the backyard. She won't, normally, if I'm not back here, she'll spend the entire day in the sunroom sleeping. But if I'm back here roaming around like I am, she doesn't like that. She wants to keep an eye on me. I don't know, maybe she thinks I'm going to steal her backyard. So I told you about my, free air conditioner and bad spark plug wire. And other than that, I'm moving crap around in circles, and I'm not doing it quick enough. Folks, thank you for watching and commenting and subscribing. I need to get organized before I can get back to building projects and doing stuff like that. I'm sorry, some of this is boring to y'all, but I'm sure some of you are thinking to yourselves, oh man, I got to get cracking on my stuff too. This cold snap is going all the way down south for the East Coast. I don't know, seems like a lot of the country got hit with it. They had one of those pockets of cold air slip out of Canada, and polar vortexes, as I guess they're called. Anyway, they had one of those pockets of cold air slip out of Canada and kind of mess us all up here. So that's what this is. The only problem is, in the week or two it takes to get over that wave of cold air, we got winter setting in for real, right? So even if it warms up after this, warm is going to be like 40, right? Right now, warm, normal high-low split for my area, I think, is just under 50 and right around 30, right? So, over the next week or two, it's going to go down that few degrees, and by the time it warms up from an average point of view, it'll be too late. The winter will be upon us. Okay, folks, thank you for watching and commenting and subscribing. Thank you for really, all the comments are helpful, the suggestions. I do read them, and I do store them away in my mind for future use and all. Remember to keep your feet down, keep your head up, and live love, and make sure you enjoy all your days. Take care now. Bye.